Alright, Case, we're here at the Onyx off-road course at Tumbleweed Ranch, and what are we doing today?
Well, we've kind of got two off-road courses. We've got the one that we've been using a lot recently, which is Andre's Pit, and then we have the pond course, and we haven't used a pond course in a while. Today we're going to show everybody why.
Yeah, I haven't personally been back there in months, since 2023 actually, so we're going to go scope it out, see what kind of work we have cut out for us this season to get the course prepped and ready to go to run big SUVs through. We've also got this Polaris Sportsman 570 trail that we're gonna take to scope out the Tumbleweed Ranch course.
Yeah, so I'm gonna be on the Sportsman. Alex is gonna be on the Honda Pioneer, which we've had for a little while, but this Sportsman, we haven't had that long. And this is really one of our first chances to test this vehicle out. So this is a Sportsman 570 trail, which is pretty cool. This being a trail model, we get a few extra goodies. Now, all of these are gonna have the same 567cc, 44 horsepower single cylinder engine, but at least if you get a 570. But this one being a trail has a couple cool things. For one, it's got a winch. And since we're going into the back course, we might actually end up needing to use this, but this is a pretty capable machine. This is definitely not the biggest, baddest ATV that Polaris makes, but it is all-wheel drive. It does have 11.5 inches of ground clearance, 8.2 inches of travel in the front, 9.5 inches of travel in the rear. So we've got quite a bit going for us. 26-inch tires on 14-inch wheels there. So a decent amount of capability. Also kind of cool, we've got this brush guard up front.
Yeah, we've been using side-by-sides to kind of get ourselves around the ranch and film videos for a while. We haven't done a ton with ATVs, but this one, you know, you could put a front cargo rack on here, strap some stuff to the front. You've got little bucket holders in the back, so if we wanted to go fishing and have some buckets to throw our fish in, we could do that.
And it's 180 pounds of capacity on the rear rack, 90 pounds on the front, and there's a bunch of different accessories that you can get for these different areas. You can get a speaker setup that you can also hook up to an accessory ride command system. This model has a much simpler screen up front, which just gives you all your necessary information, but nothing too crazy. And you also have kind of a cool little storage solution up front underneath this rear rack. Probably part of the reason that it's only rated for 90 pounds, which isn't a ton, is because it can also fold up. So I've got a few things stashed up here in the front of the ATV. And we do have a little bit of a weather seal. I don't know how well this would do keeping out water. It's not very wet here today, so we might not really need it to keep up much water, but what do you think of this color, electric blue?
I love this color. It really pops, especially with the orange accents. It's I've seen a lot of like silver and black and just boring colored power sports products, and power sports things are fun, so yeah, you should make them fun colors like this.
Yeah, and I like that it's a bright color even though this isn't the most high-end model that you can get. This is definitely, yeah, it's far from the most expensive quad out there, but they still put it in a pretty fun color, and it's got LED lights. Nothing too crazy as far as the suspension. It's just ZF branded suspension that we've got up here, so nothing crazy like Fox suspension or anything, but it should be a pretty good, reasonable setup for what we're going to do today. And these come in at about $10,699, so they're not cheap, but
a lot cheaper than that over there though.
Well, that's true. It's cheaper than a side-by-side, should be more maneuverable, so might be able to get into some spots that you can't. And yeah, it should be a lot of fun if nothing else.
Yeah, let's go hit it. Let's see what the course looks like. All right, well, this Pioneer we've had for a long time, so I'm not going to talk too much about this because we've done so many videos with this Pioneer. But it's been perfect for us.
You think you can keep up with me?
I'm going to try.
So 44 horsepower is not a ton, but I bet it's enough to dust Alex.
He's throwing up a lot of dirt. Need my glasses.
Now this machine weighs about 873 pounds, so it's far from the heaviest quad out there, but it's definitely also not a super light vehicle. And yeah, if you want to do a little bit of work with this machine, that's part of what it's designed to be able to do. So you can pull 1,350 pounds worth of trailer. Also not a massive amount, but it's it's better than nothing. And we've got our first little muddy crossing here. I'm kind of gonna split the difference. I'm in four-wheel drive now. And yeah, nothing so far, but that's never been really the difficult part of this course.
Make sure I'm in four-wheel drive. I am. Take this nice and slow. This obstacle, pretty much everything can get through. That's not the issue with the course right now.
All right, we've got a light little dirt hill climb here. Yeah, it's nothing. So far, everything really easy for the ATV. Should be easy for the side-by-side as well, but it's deeper in there where things get pretty tough. Oh, there's a turkey. Now I'm switching into my active descent control mode. I'm switched into my ADC setting here for the Sportsman 570. And it does do, admittedly, a pretty good job of slowing you down because I wasn't on the brakes through that. Now we're getting close to the first of the actual difficult stuff. A little bit of cleanup. I don't know what this is.
I think it's a balloon.
Yeah, it is a balloon. That is a nice thing about the ATV versus side-by-side. It's pretty easy to hop out, do something real quick, and jump right back on it. You don't have a door to deal with, you don't have seat belts or nets or anything, so that makes life pretty easy when you gotta jump on and jump back off a lot. Now through Nathan's Crack. Usually those are pretty difficult angles for any pickup truck or SUV, but not for these.
But now we're gonna head back to the problem area. I'll show you why we haven't been using this course as much this season and what we need to do to fix it.
Another turkey. There's another turkey.
Sure that's not the same turkey?
Well, how, you think he made it over here that fast? It could be the same
I don't know
turkey.
how fast turkeys are.
Well, that one's not moving very fast.
I'm gonna go show them what's going on with this obstacle here.
Yeah.
So, this is where it starts really getting hard. And obviously there's a little creek that runs through here, so it's always wet. But what happened was, Case and I shot a video with a Ram. Was it a 3500?
Whatever it was a mega cab.
It was a mega cab that at some point was a dually, got converted to a single rear wheel Dodge Ram. And we brought it through here and started tearing up the earth. And it wasn't too bad at first, but then we got some rain and then we had some more vehicles come through here and get stuck, and it really just started getting nasty, and it's pretty hard to tell.
Yeah, we can show some footage of, you know, a Bronco Raptor getting stuck on 37s.
Yeah, exactly. But you see the bottom, but it's a really soft bottom. It just goes and goes and goes. So you're probably a foot of depth there where it looks shallow, maybe closer to 2 feet over on this side over here. So we tried to come here with David, and we threw a bunch of these little log bits in here to try and give some traction and, you know, just break up the mud a little bit. But honestly, I think that made it worse, Case.
I think I have a good chance.
You do?
Yeah.
All right, well, at least one of us is confident.
I'm debating if I should use momentum or not. I feel like if I use momentum, I might just lodge the front end of this thing into the mud.
Yeah, I would take it slow and pick your line as carefully as possible. Try and keep the tires as dry as you can.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna try to go somewhere in the middle. I'm not gonna go super slow, but yeah, I don't know. Find out. I'm kind of thinking of straddling. I don't know if I'm wide enough to straddle that because it's pretty wet over there. I'm gonna try it over here.
Oh yeah. You know, I think that's the first thing that's gone through here and not got stuck in a long time.
Yeah, in quite a while. I think that was a good line because most vehicles can't go that close to the tree, most of the trucks and SUVs. So that is not nearly as dug out as the rest of it. But wow, I mean, we kind of built that up, and it was a nothing obstacle.
Yeah, normally we're trying to tell people to stay far to that side because of this tree that comes right up here and takes out
that mega
cabs.
cab rubbed up against that
Yeah,
tree.
exactly. So with this, all you got to protect is this right here.
Yeah, exactly. I could take a line that most trucks and SUVs can't, which is another cool thing about an ATV. So this is always an interesting section because if I go super far to the right, I get tipped pretty hard to the left. But if I stick further to the left and then cut over, then I can take the uphill section of it more head on, which means less tipping, but I end up in that hole. So I don't know. I don't really want to be in that hole. So I kind of want to go see, I don't like my back tire dropping into that.
You could probably just go straight up into here.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Easy, dude.
Easy. I think we're showing that the size of this lets you place the wheels, in an area that other vehicles can't go. The downside to that is really short wheelbase, pretty narrow, could feel a little tippy sometimes, but you're able to reposition easily because you have tons of space around you.
Yeah, I'd say I'm gonna try Tommy's Demise. I've gotten an ATV, a more spec'd out, capable ATV than this, stuck in Tommy's Demise. I don't know which side of it I wanna do, but I'm gonna scope it out. So this is the side where I got stuck before, but maybe since we're not in, I'm almost wondering, maybe since we're not into the rainy season yet, this all isn't as bad as it's going to get.
I think you're probably right. The issue with this is most vehicles are too long. Like your front and rear overhangs, you start plowing into the dirt. Tires on this are right up at the front, so you might not have an issue. I'm gonna walk down there real quick.
My angles are good. I'm definitely gonna try it. And worst case scenario, I just winch to you in the Pioneer on the other side.
Exactly. And this is, it's not looking too terrible actually compared to what we've seen. So this is the hard side. And then if I run over here, this is the side we tried to fix. We threw in some of these logs here and some rocks to try and make it easier. It's not too bad right now. When we left this at the end of last season, a lot of these logs were pretty loose, and so we were worried about them kind of coming up and damaging vehicles. But since, they've been snowed on all winter, they kind of have sunken into the earth, and I mean, I can jump on them. They're not moving around at all. This last one, maybe a little loose. We got to do something about that. But this side's not terrible. Let's see what Case can do.
So it looks less steep getting out of it here on the left side, even though these rocks are on the right side, which would probably be good for traction. But I'm going to take, I think, what looks to be the easier line through here. We'll see. Crazy thing about this is a lot of times as soon as your tires touch, how much you sink into it. You know what I might actually do real quick?
Very smart.
Because you never know how deep we might sink into it.
Yes, sir. Oh, dude.
Or not at all. That was pretty good.
We were trying to show why we're not using the course, because it's in too rough a shape, but this is walking everything.
I think I know what's going on here is we're not into the rainy season yet. This is the end of the winter. Sure, we've had some snow, but usually in the spring we get heavy rain, and this all turns into complete mud. But this is as not muddy as I've seen it ever since we ran the first couple vehicles through here.
Yeah, exactly. So, we've got one more obstacle left.
Yep.
You remember how stuck I got there in the JK?
Yes.
Yeah.
A full locker,
It was crazy.
Yeah, it was bad.
Yeah, so I think we need to go scope that out too. I'm going to leave the Pioneer where it is for now, just in case you get stuck somewhere else. That way I can get it back around. But
yeah,
let's go take a look.
Let's find out. It's the only obstacle left. Wow, real props to the ATV. Well, right now, I guess the course is just not that difficult.
Yeah, so this previously was all super slick.
This is also kind of an indication of how much better the condition of this is right now than it has been in the past, because a lot of times this is water pretty much from end to end.
Yeah, I mean, you can see dry on the right side tire line here, so.
Yeah, so I'm gonna try and stick to the right, and we'll see how it does. But given the rest of the performance that this thing has put down so far today, I think
you got it, no problem.
Yeah.
Yeah, buddy. Oh, and he's going all the way to the top. I would have stood somewhere else to get a better shot of that if I would have known that. Nice!
Pretty good. Yeah, solid performance from the Sportsman 570. Definitely the course is a lot better right now than it has been in the past when we've tested it, but still, this 570 really didn't miss a beat.
All right, what do you think of the back course? What do you think of the Sportsman?
Well, the back course is seeming okay. It'll be interesting to see if and how much that changes when we start to get into the rainy season and maybe take some heavier vehicles through there. Right now, it's fine to run vehicles like these. I don't know if anything heavier is really still going to work in the long term, so I think there's still a lot of course maintenance that we need to do just to make it so that we can continue to run heavy stuff through there and not completely destroy the course like it was last time around, you know, at the end of last season.
Yeah, we want vehicles to actually be able to run through there, and you know, we can't make good content if everything gets stuck. So you guys are always full of great ideas, so I figure you guys can let us know down in the comments below. What should we do with the course? How can we make it better? And until next time, check out alltfl.com so you don't miss anything. We'll definitely be doing more videos with this course later this season. We just got to get it in a little bit of better shape.
Also, as far as the Sportsman goes, this was great today. It really didn't miss anything that we threw at it. So it's a pretty solid machine. You know, it's not the most powerful thing in a straight line. So if you really want to be able to tear through an open field like this, 44 horsepower is not going to get you excited for that aspect of things. But as far as a performance goes on some fun, relatively mild trails like how our course is right now, this is just a blast.